Hey, it's Carl here from the Breaks Music Show, and coming soon on the show is alt-punk group For Lack of a Term from Yonkers, New York. We'll catch our interview with Ed Steele right after this.
Hi there, I want to let you know about an exciting podcast called The Breaks Music Show. So what is The Breaks Music Show? The Breaks Music Show is America's most informative new radio show highlighting the world's best unsigned artists. Be sure to find us on your favourite podcast platform as well as YouTube, Rumble, Twitter and more. Remember, every Friday is when you can hear interviews and music from 3 of the best unsigned artists in the world. The Breaks Music Show is a Grebo Inc. production.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Tonight on the show, we have For Lack of a Term. Arthur Wernham, he's joining us in studio tonight from Yonkers, New York. Arthur, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
All right, now this is the second time you've been on. The first time didn't make it. We had some technical difficulties, and Arthur was nice enough to, come back. And so we're going to get everything going here. All right, Arthur, For Lack of a Term, who all is in the band, and how come you're the only one there tonight?
Well, my bandmates all have careers or jobs rather, and apparently I'm the only one who can set them aside, set those needs aside to do things pertaining to our musical interests. But we are looking at Ryan Dempsey, who is our frontman. He is in charge of vocals, guitar work, and keys. We have our lead guitarist, Conor Cullen, and then we have our drummer, Chris Beairsto, and myself, the bassist.
For Lack of a Term. All right, I got to ask you, where and how did that name develop?
Back in 2017, actually, we rebranded. We were formerly Float, and when I say we, I mean particularly Chris, Ryan, and I. We hadn't met up with Connor just yet. However, we were operating under the name Float, and we kind of wanted to rebrand, reintroduce ourselves, but do something that didn't discredit anything we had done in the past. And we were trying to find that middle ground and, kind of talking, just throwing out ideas. We slipped out for lack of a better term at the time, because we didn't really we couldn't come up with anything. And we realized if we took out the better, for lack of a term abbreviated, is still Float. So that has been our name since. We've ran with it, and we've done everything with pride in that name.
For Lack of a Term, Arthur Wernham in studio tonight. All right. 2020, how was 2020 shaping up for the band, and what did 2020 turn into for you guys?
2020, it was gonna be a really good year. We had a lot of festivals planned. We had some tours booked. We had essentially the first quarter to half a year actually mapped out. And then I think we had done not even 10 or 20% of it before everything kicked into high gear. The pandemic really threw kind of like a curveball and everything. And our strategy was to try to be productive behind the scenes, but also do things to keep us relevant and keep our name out there so people knew that we were still active. We hadn't thrown in the towel at all. So we were doing little cool, unique things. We made a hot sauce. We did a couple of like cool merch designs that some haven't been released. Kind of just prep to hit the ground running for when the world does resume and we can hit things full speed. We're sitting on a lot of content currently. And yeah, that's been our plan. It's kind of what we used that year to as a whole. But yeah, we worked with John McClario, who did our album. He has done some notable works with like Imagine Dragons, Bayside, so and so. So we're sitting on a lot of material. Definitely a lot of stuff coming from us in the near future, thanks to 2020, as terrible as it was.
For Lack of a Term, Arthur Wernham joining us in studio. And For Lack of a Term, here's their song Clean Slate on the Breaks Music Show.
I'm through with wasting my life. Set free, now the whole wide world is mine. I should look back with a second chance, 'cause I'll never get these years back. I'm falling behind, falling faster now, time to catch up. That bridge on fire, watch it burn. Hit reset, start over again. I'm through with wasting my life. I'm through with wasting my life. Set free, now the whole wide world is mine. Set free, now the whole wide world is mine. I should look back with the second chance, 'cause I'll never get these years back. Oh, I'm falling behind. Falling faster now, time to catch up. This place in the years from my face and the color from my hair became way too much to bear. I'd rather be anywhere but here. The shackles are broken, all the chains. Let loose, I'll brace the train. The breeze took a chance to catch my breath. There's nothing but open road ahead. Knows what's next. My future is infinite. A blank canvas, empty pages. I've got a craving to fill the spaces. Older ending, new beginning. So much to process. My head is spinning. When one door closes, another opens. So catch your blessings before they're stolen. They say everything happens for a reason. Up until now, I didn't believe them. I'm through with wasting my life. I'm through with wasting my life. Set free, now the whole wide world is mine. Set free, now the whole wide world is mine. I should look back with the second chance, 'cause I'll never get these years back. I'm falling behind. Falling faster now, time to catch up.
It's the Breaks Music Show, for lack of a term. Joining us tonight, and specifically Arthur Wernham of the group. All right, Arthur. What's the music scene like in your area of the country, Yonkers, New York?
I think Yonkers, New York, the music scene is so diverse. I've got friends doing hip hop, friends doing jazz, friends doing indie, all types of various genres. And that's one of the things I love about being from this area. We take a lot of influences from different areas. We're best friends that have grown up together, but our interests are so far apart, and I think that's what shines through in our music. I'm super into heavy music, and I'm so familiar with that scene and that crowd, whereas my bandmates listen to a lot of like punk and such. But again, none of our friends play any of that. A lot of our friends have like a lot more jazz and R&B influence, and so I think it's all over the place. Honestly, we go to the city sometimes, and in a 3-block span, we'll pass a jazz club, we'll pass like a punk show, and we'll pass like a bar that's hosting a metal show. You know, it's all over the place, and I'm super appreciative of that.
Arthur Wernham of For Lack of a Term. All right, what's your thoughts on the direction of the music industry these days?
The music industry is in a tight spot, to say the very least. Obviously, with everything that happened this past year, particularly with those mid-level bands. I was talking to a buddy of mine a while ago, and his name's AJ. He plays in another local band called Shakeout, and we were having a chat about how bands at our level and bigger bands are just fine. It's those mid-tier bands that have worked so hard and gained all this traction, made all this progress, and then have it just come to a sudden halt with the pandemic. It's kind of thrown everyone in limbo, you know, even with like everything they've locked in so far. It's like it just came to a sudden halt. It was such a difficult spot. It was definitely something that kind of screwed everybody over, to put it lightly, you know. it's there's not a lot of money in the music scene right now, so it's definitely a career choice, or a passion rather, that there isn't much payout, and I think that speaks a lot to the interest and the driving force behind it, to show that no one's in this for a cash grab or popularity or anything. But I think DIY, for that reason of those mid-level bands and such being put in limbo, a lot of DIY is going to thrive right now. The do-it-yourself culture is going to come back. There's going to be a lot of garage shows and house shows and all that, and I think that will bring the music scene back to where it should be. It'll bring it back to a more wholesome, a more loving community, rather than hey, pay $1,000 to hop on this festival, or pay $500 to play with this big band, or sell X amount of tickets, and so on.
It's the Breaks Music Show. Arthur Wernham there, for lack of a term. Let's do the next song. Good Day Cafe on the Breaks Music Show.
Mike, you want some Cape Cod chips?
I know I'd try to clear my mind and leave everything else behind. Somewhere I thought I died for the first time in a long time. I feel so alive. Gotta remember to close my eyes. I'll put my headphones in, let the music play as I make my escape. Got memories to make, and old habits to break. This was never going to last. Now it's coming past. Even when I still can't survive, but my turn to the side. I feel the way as the sweet sense of escape. Temporary getaway. I've got memories to there, to everywhere. So many faces, so many miles escape. I'm not ready to go back.
It's the Breaks Music Show, for lack of a term, in studio tonight. And you know what? We have more from them in just a couple of minutes.
Hey everyone, Nikki Young here, host of the international true crime podcast, Serial Napper. Let me guide you through some of the craziest true crime stories you've never heard of. Add in a dash of creepy, spooky, and weird, and you've got Serial Napper. I cover a new case each week, some of them unsolved, so I also host a monthly chat where we go through the evidence, the suspects, and theories. You don't want to miss this. Serial Napper is available on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
It's the Breaks Music Show with Ed Steele. Tonight we're joined with For a Lack of a Term, Arthur Wernham in studio tonight. All right, Arthur, what's the best show you have ever played?
Oh, geez. I think it comes down to it's a solid tie between two shows. It was one of the first things we'd done in 2020. It was a weekend run with the guys in Bloom, featuring members of a band called Transit, and the guys in Cold Climate, featuring Matt Brash of the Wonder Years. And that was super nostalgic for me because I had gone to multiple concerts to see, like, I've paid like top dollar, I want to say like $60, which is top dollar to a teenager, of course, because you never have any money. I paid like $60 to see the Wonder Years on multiple occasions, like on festivals and such. And that was a sold out show in Boston, Massachusetts. I want to say it was called, the venue was called O'Brien's Pub, and it was sold out. And that was one of our first like when I say sold out, I mean like packed kind of things. And so that was surreal. And our performance with Drake Bell, I think that one is a little more general to all of us. We were all super, super hype on that show because we all grew up watching Drake Bell on Nickelodeon as kids. So it was like seeing this kid that we literally watched on TV performing after us was nuts. And then for him to be like, hey, I really liked your song, and play all these nostalgic like songs from our childhood. Oh yeah, it's a tie between those two. Those were definitely our best two. Don't know if I could pick one, though.
It's the Breaks Music Show, for lack of a term, in studio tonight. All right, what can we expect from you guys in the year 2021?
In 2021, you can definitely expect music. A lot of music, few videos, a lot of merchandise. We've got, like I said before, we've kind of just been holding a lot of stuff in. A lot. And I wish I could give like more, but we've definitely, you're getting upwards of at least 15 tracks from us this year, if I had to put a number on it. And then I want to say at least 3 to 4 videos. And the merch the merchandise we're sitting on, a couple of them are surprises, so I don't want to give too much away. They are super cool, and they are very unique things that not a lot of people are doing, and some I might say for one of them, no one's done before.
It's Arthur Wernham from, of course, Lack of a Term. Let's do their song, Make a Decision, on the Breaks Music Show.
Oh, it's not funny, bro. Let me get my phone back now. Come on, man, stop playing around. She just texted me back.
Don't tell me it's the same shit, man.
It's not the same thing, okay? It's different this time. This is why I need my phone back to respond, because she's gonna change her mind.
Man, you don't have to text back every 3 seconds like some kind of psycho. Just wait.
Okay, it's been 3 seconds. Come on, let's go.
Come on, man. Look, don't even worry about that. You got this cute ass chick who's been looking at you in the corner all night. You probably didn't even notice because you're in cell phone land.
She's not the girl in the red tank top.
Yeah, red tank top. She looks like smart, like she has a job and stuff.
She does look smart.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Get over there, do something. Stop talking to me. Just walk. Just talk to me.
Just walk.
Yeah. Okay. Stop looking.
I'm not looking.
Don't look at me either. Circle of trust, man. I don't want to see you texting.
Lately I've been wondering what's a fella to do when he's torn between
That's how the video would end, and then I'll take them off.
It's the Breaks Music Show, for lack of a term, in studio tonight. Arthur Wernham, he's joining us. All right, Arthur, before we get out of here, can you tell us how we can check your merchandise out? How can we find you on the socials? How can we listen to your songs and all that good stuff?
We are on all the major social media sites. We are on Spotify and Bandcamp, working on getting elsewhere. We're also on Apple Music. Let me throw that out there. If you can find us on anything, on one thing, I should say. If you can find us on one thing, we have all of our links in a link in our bio. It's a link tree. It'll take you to anything. We have TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, of course, Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music. All the merch can be purchased via Facebook or Bandcamp. Song can be downloaded via iTunes or Bandcamp as well. So yeah, if you can find us on any social media, if you've got any social media, chances are, if not all of us, if not one of us, our whole band is on there.
And thanks for a lack of a term stopping by the studio tonight, and more coming up on the Breaks Music Show. Calling all unsigned independent bands and musicians. The Breaks Music Show is looking for you to be on our show. The Breaks Music Show is a new podcast that features one artist each week in their own 20-minute interview segment with 3 of their songs played on air. Hosted by yours truly, Ed Steele. The Breaks Music Show is positioned to be the best podcast for unsigned artists worldwide. To be considered for the Breaks Music Show, go to breaksmusicshow.com. Click on the Give Me a Break tab and complete the application. Also, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform and subscribe to our social media channels and mailing list. The Breaks Music Show is a Grebo Inc. production.